Welcome, virtual family, to our regular weekly chat on the virtual settee of YouTooSpain. Today our guests are John and Patsy Nelson, and they'll be telling us what it's like to emigrate round the world to live in Spain. They'll be giving us loads of advice about the pitfalls and the successes of the whole process. If you've slept in and you're watching the recording of the show afterwards, you can find the time codes and chapter headings for each of the answers you need here and in the video description below. But no, you want to watch the whole chat, don't you? Come on, gather round. It's time for our cosmic theme tune. Let's dance. Thanks again to the groovy wizard Lee Spreadbury for our cosmic theme tune. Check out the link below to his funky YouTube site. Now, before I bring in my guests, 3 quick pieces of information as usual. Number 1, you can thank us for the so helpful things you learned today by using one of the 2 links in the video description below. With one, you can buymeacoffee.com. The other, you can make a regular donation through Patreon and get access to lots more services and behind-the-scenes stuff. Ooh, exciting. Number 2, you can also find loads of information, articles and links on our website, YouTooSpain.com. Join the mailing list on there and I'll write to you every month. Number 3, last but definitely not least, we have a list of links in the video description below. Please use them, because if you click on any of those, not only will you get great discounts on things you need and excellent service from our partners, but also you'll be supporting YouTooSpain. For example, everyone needs to exchange currency at some point, and I'd like to get you the best service, the best advice, and hold on to the best exchange rate to maximise your spending power and safeguard yourself against the sort of currency fluctuations we've seen lately. Use the Smart Currency Exchange link below to get your free account and a free advisor and access to an app and a whole range of services that you don't get with other companies. Don't leave it till the last minute. Click on that link today. As I always say, it's a win-win, and they are lovely people just like you. So without further ado, let's meet our wonderful guests. It's John and Patsy Nelson. Hello there, how are you doing?
Hello. Hi.
Thanks so much for taking the time to come on the show. And at the time of recording this show, you're actually 2 days from flying into Malaga airport. So how does it feel to be nearing the end of the great voyage around the world and starting your own new adventure?
Oh, we're very excited.
Yeah.
Yes, we can't wait for our new lives to begin, actually.
Yeah,
it's been a long time sort of coming round, but
yeah,
we're very excited.
Yeah,
now.
It's been in the making for like maybe 8-9 months,
Yeah.
or even maybe a year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 days to go.
I was just saying before we pressed record on the machine, I can remember the point when 2 days before moving and having to say goodbye to a home. I mean, you've already done that because you've flown from New Zealand first to get over to the UK, and you had to say goodbye to your home there, and now you've had to say goodbye to friends that you've got over in the UK. So it's like double the angst.
Double the emotion.
Double one, yeah.
Yeah, so the New Zealand saying the goodbyes, that was quite hard because we're not sure when we'd see them people again. Whereas now we're in Europe, it's not as far, and we find that it's a bit easier to say goodbye from here, from this end.
To friends and family here, yeah. It's a lot easier.
Yeah, even though they can come and see you a lot easier.
Yeah,
they can, and they're all, everyone's so happy about that.
Yeah,
I bet they are. Yeah, are you going to have a house with a pool? They'll be even happier.
That
would be lovely. That'd be on the wish list.
That's one on the wish list, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Shall I come down and help you look for a house? Because you're just around the corner, aren't you?
The insider knowledge from
Yeah,
absolutely.
Cool. So for our viewers, if anyone has any questions for John and Patsy, obviously this is a recorded show, so you can't do it in the live chat. Put them in the comments here on YouTube where they can see them. If you put them on a Facebook with a link to this, then they probably won't. And so do that. Thank you very much. So let's have some background before you give us the benefit of your experience. Then what passports do you have to begin with?
Well, I've actually got my UK passport. I've got my New Zealand one, and I've also got my Irish one. It enables me to come into the EU.
Very, very handy. What about you, John?
So I've got a UK passport and a New Zealand passport.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's really handy.
Yeah, we'll be applying in the back of Patsy's Irish.
Yeah.
Thanks to her dad.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. So that's quite easy, isn't it? If your parent, one of your parents, is an Irish citizen, you can just apply for the passports.
Yeah.
That is good. So that's made things a lot easier. So you don't actually have to apply to the Spanish embassy in your own country. You can just go to Spain.
That's right. And Chris from Upsticks has organised Patsy's appointment for the end of this month in Visas, Malaga. So that's the start of that.
Exciting.
Brilliant. Yeah, it's very exciting. And Visas Malaga is quite a nice extranjeria. So and it's easy to find, and there's a car park nearby. And very easy. That's where I did mine. Okay, then there's obviously so much you can tell us about our lives from before you made the decision to move. We could do a whole show on that if we wanted. Most of our viewers, of course, want to know about moving to Spain, but just before we do that, just tell us a little about your background, and especially, John, tell us about singing with Brian May from Queen.
Okay, so the background, so we sort of decided to move to New Zealand probably 11 years ago, and obviously we put to say our goodbyes there and stuff, and we just at that time it was the right thing to do. We wanted to.
I mean, I think it started because you had an old school friend living in New Zealand, so we went on a 6-week holiday around New Zealand, didn't we? And that we just fell in love with the place. So you know, before we're too old, let's try and do this.
And then we just had a great life there, and it was just different needs at different times. So for that time in our lives, we just wanted to be in New Zealand and do the things that we wanted to there and make a new life. And then during that time, I got back into the music scene, and then that fast forward to COVID and lockdown, where Brian May was doing lockdown videos sessions on YouTube, and then we got the chance to go and do that duet with him, which is on my YouTube channel, and that was just an amazing thing to do. So he was inviting people every week to do that, and I just jumped on the chance to do that, and we did one of my favourite Queen songs, actually, "Love of My Life." So. To do that in my acoustic set. It's a beautiful song.
It is, and you do it very well, I have to say.
Thank you.
I'm going to put the link to that, I think, underneath this video. I'll make sure I'll make a note of that. And you met him, actually, did you?
That was a surprise.
That was a surprise as well. So previously, I'd won a competition. Fast forward to 2018, when the Bohemian Rhapsody movie came out. There was a competition to sing a part of the song and upload your songs to Abbey Road, and the producer analysed all the vocals, and during the crowd scene in the Live Aid scene, my vocal was picked as with a few hundred others to be in that crowd scene. So then I got an email back with all saying you've been in the film, your voices in the film. So I used that and contacted the promoters in Australia.
And you dined out on it.
And I dined out on that so much.
Of course.
And so the promoters came back and they arranged a meet and greet for when Queen and Adam Lambert played in Wellington in New Zealand. We had tickets for that, and we also then got the chance to do the meet and greet. We spoke to them about that, and
it was a surprise.
It was all a surprise for Patsy.
I didn't know. I knew I was going to see Queen, but I didn't know I was getting the meet and greet.
Yeah, so
we toddled to Wellington. It was like, wow.
You're such a romantic, John.
I know, such a because Patsy didn't at level 4 in health and social care, and I needed to
reward me.
She needed, Guys.
Yeah. So. He kept saying to me, "I've got a surprise. When you get through this, there'll be a surprise."
This level 4.
And I'm like, "What's a surprise?"
No, fantastic.
It was brilliant. Loved it.
So that's
thank you, John.
That's the background to that one.
Fabulous. Now, of course, I've got a question here that may not be relevant, but I'll fire it away anyway. You've moved to New Zealand in the past. How does Spanish immigration compare to New Zealand?
Well, we find Spanish easier because with New Zealand, it was a points-based system and an age-based system. So you had to be under 56. You had to have so many points. You have to have a job offer. You have to have qualifications, and the job offer has to be on the recognised qualifications list. So there was lots of components that needed to line up. Then you go into a pool where you get picked out to then be invited to apply. You have to be invited to apply.
Get into a pool,
So if you meet the threshold of points, you're then invited to apply for residence. It doesn't mean you're going to get it, but then there's a long process. But Whereas Spain, we find it much more streamlined
Mm.
to go there, actually.
It
Especially,
sounds a bit like getting the working visa for Spain, although
yes,
that you don't go into a pool or anything like that.
right.
You just have to make a very good application or get a business over there to make the application for you.
Right.
Yeah.
Hmm. So
Yeah,
quite tough then. It's something that people from the UK before Brexit they found it easy to get into Spain, but now it's really, really tough if you want to work there.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the work visa in Spain's like the Holy Grail, isn't it? Get that.
Yeah, absolutely. Although I found out more recently that if you go for the non-lucrative visa to start with for the first year, it's easier to get a work visa once you're in Spain because you don't have to fulfill the criteria of making sure that all EU citizens who can apply for the job have already applied for it. You can
Right.
just apply for a job.
Okay.
So it is easier if you take that kind of long route, but it means you've got to have enough money to cover you for a whole year, and then there's no guarantee at the end of it. You might end up with no working visa and have to have 2 years worth of savings to carry on with your non-lucrative visa anyway. So
Yeah.
there we go.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Are there any Kiwis coming over to Spain, or is there a lot of traffic coming this way?
No, not that we're aware of. The only ones would maybe be friends that would maybe come and visit. We're not aware of anyone coming to live in Spain from New Zealand that we know.
No,
but we do
not
know we've got a few friends that are saying that once we get settled, they'd like to make the trip
Yeah.
and do the big European tour. And
Mhm.
Make it easier for them to
Yeah.
come visit. Yeah.
Yeah.
a lot
You
of
did-
Kiwis go to London. I think that's where they seem to go, or Edinburgh.
Yeah. You said there are people, expats who moved to New Zealand. They might be the ones who are moving to Spain.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, we met a lot of European
Mm,
people there as well, haven't
Yeah,
we?
yeah.
And a lot of them have got connections within Europe.
Mhm.
I mean, you worked with a young lad from Paris, didn't you? And
Yeah.
his mum and dad have got a place in, where is
Is
it?
it Almunica?
Almunica?
Almuñeca, yeah.
Almuñeca, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
That's not far from where you're moving to.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah,
so I'm sure he'll be visiting his parents and us at some point.
yeah, that's right.
Great stuff. So you've travelled to so many countries in your time. Why Spain in the end? Is this going to be your last move?
We think it will be,
Hopefully.
hopefully. How long's a piece of string? But no, there's a few reasons for Spain when we were deciding to move. Wanted to be closer to friends and family, obviously, in Europe, rather than 24 hours in the sky. We thought 2 or 3 hours would be better. We've also, Spain and New Zealand are now working on a reciprocal pension agreement, which is important because I'm like only 5 years off that, because in New Zealand 65 is the pension age.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a thing. I wanted to be somewhere nice and warm, and somewhere that's got like lots of places that we can do gigs. And we looked at some of the places on that reciprocal list, and Spain sort of came out on top of that for us.
And we did a lot of YouTube and research and stuff as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, we think
And
that
then-
was the place to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Definitely.
So is there a big difference in prices, do you think, between the standard of living as well between New Zealand and Spain?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When New Zealand, everywhere's gone up in price, but we noticed that New Zealand was getting very, very expensive when we were doing the compare.
I
to
don't think it's
Spain
with
and
it being so remote from the rest of the world,
Mm.
the cost of getting things into the countries.
Mm.
It's since COVID as well, things have really like
Ramped up.
building
Yeah,
materials, anything's
Yeah.
not as available as it was.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
And we've researched lots of costs of living in Spain, and there's even people out there doing shopping sprees around supermarkets, so you know what things cost.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how much research we've got right down the nitty gritty of watching people shop. I know it's sad.
Yeah.
It's true.
And there's people doing little cooking shows on TikTok and things
Yeah.
for to beat the energy crisis and beat
Yeah.
the increase
Yeah,
in
There's a lot
bills.
of great resources out there.
there is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I might do one of them myself. Mind you, I've
Yeah.
got my Monday show, and that's about
Yeah.
saving on. Yeah. So you've watched this show a lot. I've
Yes.
seen you on the live chat a lot, and you've seen the issues of applying from the UK. How different was it for you applying from New Zealand?
Oh, we've not actually, we've thought that it's been fairly streamlined. Really, the big thing we had to do was obviously get our wedding certificate renewed. So we had to get a new one of them. Chris advised us to get that done as soon as we got to the UK, and then we got that done. Zach and the apostille services done that for us. So we've had all that translated as well, apostilled through Chris. So that was the big thing we had to do, really. Patsy having the Irish passport, the wedding certificate was the key component for our residency application.
Yes, of course, for you to get the residency on the back of hers. So was there any other paperwork that you needed?
No, that was all. The EU pass, that was the big thing we needed. So
we still got a bit of a road to go.
Yeah, there'll be stuff to do once we get into Spain.
Like banks and stuff like that. Getting all that.
And getting all that sort of organised, but we need to get those NIE numbers.
How did you manage with the criminal record certificate? Because you've not lived in the UK for a while.
Well, I've not got that done yet, so I've got one done from New Zealand, but I haven't. But because we've only been here, I don't know how we'll do with that actually.
To get some advice.
Yeah, I'll have to get some advice. Chris.
I'm sure Chris will have the answer to that.
Yeah, I will.
You'll see him soon. Could you have done it? Could you have done all this on your own without Chris?
No, not a chance. I mean, the first when we first decided, when Spain came to the top of our list, we decided to move. We thought, okay, we want to do it. How are we going to do it? And then we stumbled upon YouTooSpain.
Yeah.
And then everything, it was just like it all was laid out in front of us. This is all we need. We just need to watch your videos with Chris and put it all together, and all the answers are there. And we couldn't believe it. Honestly, we actually didn't know how we were going to do it.
No, we didn't.
We knew we wanted to do it, but
start until
once we seen your first video, even the stuff when you were back in, we went right back to your early journeys from when you were in Ireland and going to do it.
Yeah. Fabulous. So it's all my fault.
It is your fault.
Yeah. We blame you.
You've sealed the deal.
Brilliant.
And Chris and his team have been amazing, honestly. And all the partners as well. Even right down to the Jack at Smart Currencies, everything's been, the team have been amazing. You've got a whole team there that's invaluable. And
information's there.
It is. It's
anybody's
and it's good to have you at the end of a message. It's great to have you on the ground there.
Yeah, that's good. It's good to hear.
Yeah.
Excellent. You're talking about music. You've got loads of music kit and expensive instruments and things. How easy is that to transport, and how did you manage to trust them? When we drove over from Ireland, we got 3 expensive guitars and we put them in the car with us because I just did not trust a removals company to arrive with them in one piece.
Well, mine's are in flight cases, and they're also the removals people have done double bubble wrap around that as well. So, and it's all going in a container. But we were there, sort of, we've seen them take them away, but you just wonder when you'll see them again. But it's looking like probably December now. So but they're a good company, and they did seem to be taking care, and everything was, as I say, I had it in flight cases anyway because it's been in and out of vans and cars all its life. And
New Zealand company,
New Zealand company as well. So
so they're used to going a long way because they're a long way from anywhere.
Exactly.
Yes. A lot of people do it.
Yeah.
Fabulous. So you say it'll take till December?
Well, that's what they just said the other day. It leaves on the 19th of September, the container, because we didn't want to have it arriving too early because we were wary of import duty if we weren't already residents. Chris advised maybe put it in storage for a month in New Zealand, which we did for August, and now it leaves in September. So we didn't want it to get there before us.
Yes, it's a very good plan.
Not arriving in Spain in August, which is why we've hung out here for a month.
Absolutely, yeah. That's a very good plan too. That's something that not a lot of people know. I mean, it's just being in very hot temperatures when you're arriving. You don't want to be arriving in the middle of August.
And plus a lot of the bureaucracy stuff shut down in August as well. So
you wouldn't have got an appointment there.
No, and then the rentals we've noticed already rentals are becoming more available in September already, even now, that weren't there in August.
That's true. Yeah, when we were looking a year in advance of when we moved, and we saw September. That was the one. All of the holiday lets suddenly
Yes.
went long term.
Yeah. Correct.
Yeah,
So
but there's
hopefully-
but the best thing is, I mean, I know you'll have seen these on websites, but the best thing is to actually be on the ground and talking to the estate agents and even to some local people, because there'll be stuff that's not actually up for rental that people will say, oh, actually, yeah, I can go for
That's
I'd
right.
go
That's
for
some
that.
of the best advice we've had from you actually on one of your previous videos.
Yeah.
There's always say to Patsy, we need to be on the ground,
we do.
like you said.
And it's quite scary because you think, well, I'm moving there and I don't know, you don't know where you're going to live.
And
It's a strange feeling, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a strange feeling. It's like,
it is quite weird, yeah, because we're homeless and jobless at the moment. But there's always Airbnb to get us over the line,
There is, yeah.
and we will find somewhere.
yeah, we will.
Yeah, you just have to make sure you've got that part of your budget put aside, and you know that there's money that's going to go down the drain to start with.
Yeah, that's right. And as Chris said, whatever you think you need, double it. Yeah,
That's a good one. I like that.
Mhm.
So, and you're going to be self-employed. You're both going to be self-employed?
I'm not sure yet. I mean, I would like. I don't know what I'd like to do. Maybe something totally different. I'm not sure, but yeah, I don't know.
Patsy's in the sort of healthcare environment.
Yeah, I have been in touch with a few various companies, you know, that provide support to people, elderly care and stuff like that. So maybe just something part-time, doing something like that, just being to support somebody, or I don't know.
There must be homes that have got quite high percentages of English-speaking
Yes, that's right.
clients.
I found a company called the Costa Angels, and I think they're an Irish company that was set up over there along the costas, and they're quite often looking for people for support work and stuff.
Excellent.
Something
And I like the way you're just diving in there at the deep end and saying, we'll have a look around.
yeah.
How's your Spanish?
Well, not too clever, but I was doing
Duolingo.
Duolingo. Yeah, I've been doing Duolingo quite a.
But we're hoping to maybe get some lessons when we get there.
Yeah, well, definitely. But I mean, probably basics are there, but
One to one is.
Yeah, once we're among it, it'll probably click. Hopefully, we'll do our best.
Yeah, and Duolingo, of course, they're that's Latin American Spanish, so you'll find one or two words are different, and some of the pronunciation is a little bit different, especially in Andalusia, because they tend to they miss off the ends of a lot of words. It's like,
do they?
That's interesting.
But then you'll be used to that. You're from the northeast, aren't you, Patsy?
Well, I'm actually Cumbrian.
Cumbrian. There we go.
Yeah.
Northwest, then. Sorry.
Yeah. It's, as the crow flies, it's not far. So I've got a bit of a mixed up kind of accent. Very border person. Border, yeah.
Excellent. So I'm sure that'll be an advantage when you listening to accents over here. It's a very kind of broad accent, very farmer accent.
Is that?
There you go. But then again, in Neher it might be a little bit more refined. You never know. You'll find a lot of expats there anyway. There's a good community.
Oh, lovely.
There you go. I was going to ask about transporting pets, but I read that you recently lost yours. I'm sorry to hear about that.
No, that was a big, massive loss in our lives in January. So
yeah, I think she was. She kept us grounded, so in a lovely way.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But she had a great life in New Zealand. I'm from Scotland. And she had the best life.
She was transported from Scotland to Wales, to Heathrow, to Hong Kong, to Auckland, to Christchurch. So she was well travelled too.
She was 36 hours in a crate actually. And 2 weeks in quarantine till we got out from Christmas 2011. So,
You got any advice for people wanting to transport pets long distances?
Be prepared for. Actually, I've got a story. One of my friends, he moved to the UK a few months ago
from New
Zealand, and he's just now, his pet's still there. And since with all this costs of living and everything going up, he's now not able to take his pet. They've doubled the costs to $12,000 from $6,000, and he's actually his daughter is now going to keep the dog in New Zealand, so he's not going to get
Oh,
There's some increasing costs just came along out of the blue. Well, everything's gone up, and things are going up in real time.
of course they are.
Yeah, all it takes is fuel prices to go up for
everything goes
for
up.
shipping for.
Yeah, for pets especially, and but just you know, but you love the pets, so yeah, and it's quite a scary thing shipping a pet because you don't know when you're going to see them again, and you know.
And you need good people on both sides before you leave.
Yeah, because we had to have friends to take our pet. Because we couldn't be on the same flight as Bess, so our friends had to take them down to Wales, where there was a shipping company was getting that prepared. Because there's a lot of logistics involved in certificates, timings is crucial with injections and everything.
Vet bills.
Yeah, all that. It's probably harder to ship a pet than yourself.
It is.
Actually. Yeah.
Yes, I've heard that. Yeah, you have to get all your ducks in a row, as Chris would say.
Absolutely. True. Yes.
Yeah. Even though you can't send ducks. Great. So, any other advice for people moving large distances?
Just be prepared for any sort of unforeseen circumstances. You know, just have your sort of flights all in place, and have some extra cash ready just for the uninevitable stuff. Yeah. I mean, when we moved the week before we came over, I got COVID at my farewell gig, and I was only allowed out of isolation on the Monday, and we flew on the Tuesday. So I'd never seen that coming.
So we didn't get to say
proper farewells really
the last
week. So
wow.
Yeah, so there's lots of just curveballs come at you, you know.
And I think New Zealand being so far behind with the COVID, they're still in like they call that amber. So your whole family or the place where the whole household have to isolate. So I had to too.
Yeah, so.
And we just sort of fed you at the door, didn't we?
The last week in New Zealand wasn't what we thought it would be. No. So we'd never seen that. That was an unexpected. You know.
And they just changed the rule before you know, because they were doing a test before you left. That just changed, didn't it? So we wouldn't have got out if we still had that rule.
Yeah. Just if you are moving, and just check with your local, you know, immigration government website, see what the rules are on travel and stuff. If you are traveling, and for each country you go through, have all that in check. That's advice, really.
And that's
good. It's funny though. New Zealand seemed to be right at the forefront, right from the very start in clamping down and everything, but it seems to have, there's almost a sort of a backlash from that, because then COVID didn't arrive until much later. So
you're absolutely right.
And I suppose they knew that was going to happen.
Yeah, they did. But never mind, they're doing okay.
They're doing all right.
Yeah. So, any other stories from your journey?
So many journeys. From this journey particularly now, I've obviously went to sell our house, and we didn't think that was going to happen. It took longer than expected as well. Just a few letdowns with thinking we'd had it sold, and in New Zealand they do an open home every week. So people come and look at your house every week, and you think this is going to be it. And
we didn't think we'd have a problem selling it, but the market's all of a sudden, didn't it? It kind of went from what it was. It did take longer. It took longer than we thought. Yeah, so we were kind of a bit anxious.
But it's worked out well in the end.
Yeah.
And did you actually before you knew your house was going to be sold, had you already arranged the dates that you were going to travel, or did waiting for the house move mean that you had to move your dates?
Well, it was we had a target in our head. We always knew that it had to be, we had to move after the 3rd of July because we wanted to avoid capital gains tax. We knew that, finding out from your show, because that was a thing we didn't even know about, because they don't have that in New Zealand. So that was a thing. So we were kind of in our window in our minds. It's got to be after July anyway. So, but it was just trying to line up all the ducks again with the shipping people, because they'd give us a quote and trying to.
And I think we'd already decided we'd spend some time here with family as well. Spend a bit of summer here. So we thought we'd be here quicker than what we were actually, but the house sale didn't happen as we thought. But that was a bit of a journey, and then we stayed with friends once it did sell.
Yeah, it was also everything was just sort of sitting with the feet up, just waiting, and then it happened, and then everything was all systems go.
Yeah. It's a sudden accelerator pedal moment, isn't it?
Yeah, that was it. That's right.
Yeah, press the red button, as Chris says.
That's what it was like. Yeah.
Suddenly, everything you've got on pause is now press play.
So it was quite a few months of.
It's good. So it's really handy, actually, that you've been able to go to the UK, because it's things like any paperwork and things like that is in the UK that you can get access to it.
Yeah, Chris did advise about the WEN certificates, so we had to be here to get that, which was really handy as well.
Yeah, and if you need to renew your UK passport or something, then
to renew our UK driving licenses because they'd expired.
Yes.
The photographs had expired because we've been away for 11 years. Some of them we never even knew about. And then once we were starting to look into the driving license swap, I thought, our license is the photograph, so we had to get that done when we got here.
You might just have timed it right now, because if you're arriving now, it could be anything up to 6 months by the time they sort it out, but I don't think it's going to be longer than that.
Yeah, that's right. We haven't been doing the online theory tests.
Theory tests,
every day. So just in case.
We did spend that 6 months or whatever it was waiting for the house to sell, like doing a lot of like Duolingo and driving tests,
theory tests.
Trying to get our heads around
the Practica test. Practicatest.com.
That's the right one.
We were doing that and we were like, hey, we passed. But it took a while. Hard to kind of fathom what they were looking for, wasn't it?
A lot lost in translation on some of the questions. But
you need to get in touch with Ruth Collins, who's been on that show. She's the expert on that. She's just passed the test, and her husband, and there's Ruth Baldessera. So both the Ruths were on one of the shows a couple of weeks back.
Right.
So, any more final last tips and tricks and stories before we round up?
Just don't let distance be an issue. Because although New Zealand is 12,000 miles away, the fact that we're doing it proves that it can be done even at our age. It's never too late. So,
And I think traveling the world, you meet so many different people and different countries, and we've made a lot of friends and a lot of connections, which is brilliant, isn't it?
Don't be frightened to go out there and ask for help, of people like yourselves. It's people like you that make it all sort of possible. You don't actually realise the service that you and Chris and the team do. Because when we would go to New Zealand, there was nothing like this to go to New Zealand 10 years ago.
No.
I think you went to a roadshow or something.
We went to one expo in London, and that was it. There was no channels you could go and ask all these questions. It was the British Expats website, but it was just a forum. But to have videos and that now, it's so much. So much.
To be able to ask questions live as well too.
It's specialists. It's incredible.
Yeah, it's amazing technology now. I always keep thinking of how people like Bob Dylan used to learn songs from other people. He'd play a record and he'd work out how the fingering was for a song. But nowadays, you just go on YouTube and somebody goes, this is the finger used, this is the string, this is the tuning. It's a piece of cake now. I wish I'd had that when I was learning.
Same.
Doing all your riffs.
I know.
You can learn them quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. I still can't do guitar solos, but that's one thing I've got set up there now for in my later years. That's what I'm going to learn how to do.
Good. Well, I'll show you a few.
Thank you. Maybe that's it. I've got a teacher now. Fabulous. Right then. Well, it's time to tell our watchers what's happening next week. But first, everybody, let's give John and Patsy a huge virtual hug and a thank you for being marvellous, and help them and wave them goodbye. We'll see you both again one day, I'm sure, on the show, and I will meet you very shortly when we both go to the festival.
Can't wait.
Dancing to Paolo Nutini. There we go.
That'll be superb. Let's do that.
Yes, let's. Can't wait. So, thank you and goodbye.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Bye,
Thank you again.
Bye.
Cheers. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Excellent. A lovely chat once again. Next week on our Cosy Family Settee, we've got Chris from Upsticks back with us with the latest residency updates. So subscribe if you haven't already and click on the notifications bell down here. You'll be the first to know what's coming up next.
Finally, tune in to the virtual Cafe of Cash on Monday at midday if you're in the UK to meet my first live guest on that show and get loads of energy crisis busting advice so you can save money on your bills. If I don't see you then, I'll see you next Saturday at our regular time of 9 o'clock in the morning if you're in the UK or Ireland, or 10 o'clock if you're in Spain or Central Europe. My lovely wife says hi once again. Hi! You can join her for free virtual yoga and meditation on her YouTube channel, YouTooYoga. The link is below with the other ones. Have a good look at those links. That's all for this week. Somebody sweep up that Kalima dust once again. Polish the pathways. It's time to head in the virtual Spanish pool. It's still quite warm here. Peace and love. Oh, let's have one more little cosmic dance, shall we? Bye.